Happy holidays, happy holidays. As the merry bells keep ringing, happy holidays to you. Happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays. And we're back on the Silver 5150 channel, and we've got some random holiday rounds, Christmas rounds. There is a nativity scene, a very popular round. People love that round for obvious reasons. And Noel, you can't see the O, the E, the L in the middle. Well, you can now. Did I mention it? And that's a cool round. And of course, the Santa Claus round, which some argue has nothing to do with Christmas. Probably some would argue the same to say Christ has nothing to do with Christmas. I disagree. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In some cases, some believe they're entitled to their own facts. Regardless of that, I'm going to go ahead and dive into shopping during the holidays, Christmas, credit, and how runaway credit can really sock you in the block. So, I intentionally ran out my credit card to the absolute limit. And even, I think, probably a little bit beyond, but that happened after the facts and pending charges hit towards the billing cycle. And man, I got to tell you, and these right here are blank, so you can just kind of engrave stuff in there. Oh, 1991. I didn't know it was 1991. Interesting. And I was wondering, I was like, I know they're going to hit me for interest because I don't have like the best interest rate. It's not bad. But how are they going to get that interest if there's no room on the card? Because usually what they'll do is they'll just increase the card balance and, that way they get their interest when you pay the minimum payment. Well, I went to check my minimum payment. It was a little bit higher than usual. And then it turns out when I actually made the minimum payment, only half of the minimum payment went to the principal. And the other half, which was a pretty fat amount, went to the interest. So they got their money. And that's how they do it. And they'll actually probably run your card up even further if necessary to make room for their interest requirement. So that's how they get you. And it was kind of a painful shock because it took a chunk of money out of me that I wasn't expecting. I thought I was going to get away with paying something low again, and then I was going to be done until next month. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Anyway, so just to let you know that you can, really get crazy with your credit. I mean, companies right now are so loose, and the banking system is so loose when it comes to credit. They'll extend you a lot of grace, enough grace to probably land you in jail if you're not careful. But I can tell you this, you're going to have to satisfy that debt on some level. So in my case, like I said before, I am particularly blessed with a well-paying job, and I have very little financial responsibilities otherwise, so I can get away with experiments like that and then start recovering from it because now I'm going to start paying that sucker down, the credit card, like nobody's business. Is going to be a war operation. So I'll do that, and then I'll get back on track and then have the credit available because, regardless of whether you hate credit or banks or government, what have you, all these things are just tools. The government is a tool. For those of you that are stacking metals and you're sitting there thinking, well, the government needs to collapse, so my silver will go up to $1,700 an ounce, which it will go up to $1,700 an ounce at some point. Whether it's inflated dollars or real dollars, I think probably more likely inflated dollars. But the bottom line is that in order for those changes to happen in terms of numbers or even in the markets, government's going to have to intervene on some point in some way. They're going to have to come out and say something that's going to trigger the price change or is going to trigger people's interest in metals. We will need, if we want to have this big wealth transfer take place, the government is going to be required to make some kind of statement. It could be the world government, it could be other countries, it could be the United States government, but some senior official is going to have to come out and say, effective immediately, precious metals, gold and silver in particular, are going to be used as part of the monetary cycle, purchasing, what have you. They're going to be ratified and sanctified by the government to be used in conjunction with whatever else is out there, be it, cryptos or what have you. So, all silver, again, is good silver. These were random rounds from a particular mint, I think JM Bullion. And I love them. I love them to death. I know I keep bouncing back and forth. But, for 17 bucks, I think I got them at the time. Not a bad deal. And they're very nice rounds. And they are real silver. They're very cool and very appropriate for whatever you want to do with them. Give gifts. I mean, I know these have some mis in terms of the years. They're not current, but they still have, they still have value. So anyway, this is Silver 5150 telling you about the edge of credit, using it, the kind of dynamic we're in right now where you can really go crazy. But just remember, it is your responsibility. At some point, you'll have to deal with it and try to go ahead and pay it down. Now, will the credit system collapse and maybe you'll get a free pass or a jubilee or something like that? I don't know. It could happen. But just, be the right kind of person. Just take responsibility for your habits, take responsibility for your actions. And if you spent the money and you got yourself some really nice silver like this, work to pay it back. Pay it back. Try to become debt free. I've got myself on a debt free plan here in the next couple of years, unless the credit system collapses and I get a jubilee, in which case I'll gladly take it. Until then, I will pay like there's no tomorrow to make sure I become debt free by the time I retire. Hopefully sooner than later. And we'll talk to you next time.